What's up, people? It's your boy Focus right here. Welcome to another segment of Focus on Hip-Hop. Right now we are sitting with the legendary MC Sadat X. How you doing today, my
What's
brother?
good? What's good? What's good? I'm here. No
What's
question.
good? So, for the people who are not familiar with where you're from, we'll let the people know where you're from.
Alright, well, my name is Sadat X, and I got roots everywhere. I was born in the Bronx, the Melrose area of the Bronx, Cortland Ave, Jackson Projects, Melrose, Concourse Village, right there. Then I moved up to New Rochelle. I went to school up there. Then I moved back downtown, so I was on 106 before 106. I've been on. I lived in the Fordham Hill in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So now I've been in Brooklyn for the last 2-3 years.
Beautiful. That's what's up. So, I mean, how long have you been in the music business? How long have you been, professionally putting out music?
Well, I've been doing it. Understand? Like I was outside, like at the beginning, man. Like kind of at the beginning, man. Like where it was still like the outside party joints and seeing like Cold Crush Brothers, and when it was still had the cassette tapes and everything. So I came on up through that era, man, up to where it is now, no doubt.
Beautiful. So do you remember what was the feeling? First of all, when did you first get signed?
Man, when we first got signed, actually, that was like we first got signed in 90, 91, and that was off of Electra Records. And what happened with that was, Pooh Bah was already in the music industry with a group called Masters of Ceremony, so he had some ins in the industry and as far as how it was going down. And he actually was producing myself and Lord Jamal. And New Rochelle was but so big, so anybody that was rhyming basically knew each other at some point. And Pooh Bah was the biggest thing coming out of Westchester at that time. And he took an interest in me and Jamal, so when he would have a session, he would give us like maybe an hour apiece. He'd do something with Jamal for an hour, do something with me, and that way we got to go to the studio and learn about it and watch. This was in Jazzy J's studio, so we seen a lot of people coming through. The legendary Jazzy J. One day we was in there and we did a track together, and he was like, "Yo, it sound good." And Pooh Bah took it downtown. I just was rhyming for the hood in my block, and I didn't really know how it can go down like that. He went and took it, and one day he called and was like, "Yo, we got a deal. We're gonna make this joint just like that."
So I mean, do you remember that feeling when that was it like you thought it was a joke or something, or was it like?
Nah, it was good, but I didn't really know where it could go because I hadn't really seen. I mean, in my mind, like at that time, it was dudes like Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane, and then De La came out like that, and I was like, well, damn, if I get halfway to where I'm good, because like I said, I was in the hood, so I wasn't really, I was hoping it would pop, but if it didn't, I was gonna just have to do something else.
That's what's up. So alright, so boom, so now y'all got the deal, and y'all started working on your first project. How long did that take y'all to complete?
Well, that didn't really take too long, man. It took about 6 or 7 months. And what you have to understand at that time, man, is like we was young, me and Jamal, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, Pooh Bah, we might get the studio in the city. And we was in New Rochelle, so we had to figure out how we gonna get down there. It was like sometimes, man, somebody moms would give us the car and we'd take the car. Other times we get on the Metro North to 233rd or wherever and jump on the subway. It was times when we was on there, it was like, yo, listen, I got enough to get down here, but I might can't get back. So how I get back is how I get back, man. And it was a good time, man, because it gave us a struggle and appreciation for what was going down.
That's what's up. All right, so 6-7 months, the project was complete. Did you guys have like a listening session or anything like that?
Well, I remember we did have a listening session, because what you gotta understand about the album is I remember when we did a pre-video at first. That was the Feel So Good video. We did that just to throw it out there to see how it was, and that was like, at the time, labels, they didn't really know like what to throw out, so that was like a happier type of record. But if you really listen to Feel So Good, like on the as compared to the rest of the album, was a little bit different. Like, so they wanted to throw that out there, and it took a minute for that to generate, man. I remember like they threw that out, and it took maybe about 4 or 5 months for people to start catching on, and it really hit, man. And when it really hit, I was surprised, man, because like I said, I just was hoping it would do good in the hood. And in New York, I didn't know about going to Europe and these other places.
So you remember like the first time you went like on an official like promotional tour when you was away from the crib for a while?
Oh yeah, I remember definitely. Like, first of all, when you gotta understand, that when we came out, like if you ever see the old Kilimanjaro thing from Video Music Box or something, we used to come out like maybe like 100 deep, 150 deep from where we was from Nerd Shell, because they was just so happy to have somebody to embrace, where they would embrace us and they wouldn't let nothing happen to us at all, nothing. So I remember when we first used to do promo run, I remember the first time we had a real show in Washington, D.C. And I could just remember the night before, dudes calling me like, yo, tomorrow we going to the show. And this is dudes from the town. We must have rolled down to D.C. maybe with maybe about 15 cars of dudes. And mind you, dudes is blowing and drinking the whole way down on 95 too. But that's before we knew the back room. So on 95, we blowing and smoking all the way down there. We get to the hotel now. Now mind you, dudes wasn't, I mean, we had been motels, you know, if you had a show, you go to Telly or something like that, but this was a real hotel. So they had like the mini bar in there. So like, we went to the mini bar, we like, yo, you got a refrigerator with liquor in your room? Everybody calling around, and we like, yo, pile all, let's bring all that shit, put it in one bathtub, get the ice, we got mad ice, put it in there. Yo, we drank all that shit. Dudes, mind you, we didn't know how to pay for drinking out the mini bar. We took all that. I remember dudes took the clocks, like the clock, like the skis, everything, man. So it was an adventure, man. And you know, gradually as we started doing shows, you know, we learned more and more about the road.
Beautiful. All right, so boom. Now the album's out. Y'all touring. Y'all doing what y'all got to do. Now the group breaks up. Not to get too indefinite, but like, you know, what was more or less the reason for the group breaking up?
Well, first of all, what a lot of people don't understand is that up until that point when we did that at Jazzy J's studio, it was still Pooh Bah was doing his thing, Jamar was doing his, and I was doing mine. Like he was producing all three of us, so it wasn't like we was a group as brand new, being like a year back before that or 2 years back. Like this was something that had just formed, and we did that. And like I ain't even gonna front, like in all families, if you got brothers, sometimes you and your brothers fight. Sometimes you'll knuckle up with your brother. They be like, I ain't messing with dude, man. This and that. So you know, some of that came into it too. But we had known that understanding with Pooh Bah that he was like, yo, once y'all get in there, y'all in there, and y'all do what y'all do. So that's how it went down.
Okay, so it was all up. All right, so now we on to the follow-up album, the Brand Nubian joint. You know, that Love Me or Leave Me Alone is one of my favorite records, by the way, of all time.
Thank you.
But how was that process different from, you know, when you did the first album? You know, aside from Pooh Bah not necessarily being a part of it, but was it still as fun and you know, the touring and all of that as well?
Oh yeah, well, you know, it was definitely fun, and that album was more of like a proving ground, because once we broke up, you know, people are curious in the streets. I mean, that's just the nature of people. People are curious and they want to know what's coming, and they're like, the point blank, they're like, well, how y'all gonna do something without Pooh Bah? Like, nah, you broke up, you ain't gonna do nothing like that. So it was a proving ground, man. Well, every song we felt like, yo, we got to make this happen, man, because it could have went either way from right there. I mean, we could have came out and it would have been some bullshit, and they'd have been like, yo, dead this, or we could swim. And fortunately, we was able to put together a good album, put some good songs on it, and carried us.
Was there ever a point in time, as an artist, it's tough, you know, this music industry is crazy, especially for those who are aspiring, trying to make it, you know, a lot of times we kind of feel like, man, after this music, man, I'm going to keep moving. Like, did you ever feel like that, where you would say, you know what, forget this music, I'm done with it, I'm going to just go pursue?
Definitely. I mean, you know, it does, like, I mean, like, I tell you, usually I tell people, I mean, if you stick with this long enough, I don't care who you are, if you stick with it long enough, at one point you might be able to slip in and get your 5 minutes. You got to make that wedge. Once you get that little end, and I say, if you out here long enough, usually you get your 15 minutes. It's what you do after that. What's going to keep you in the game, because you're going to have that apex, and then, you know, everything supposedly come down. You want to make it level off. What can I do to still keep my thing out there like that? So it definitely does get hard, man. And a lot of times, man, I've done other things. I've taught. You know what I mean? I coached basketball. I had passed the fireman test in the show, but I didn't choose to do that. And then sometimes you make bad decisions. I made bad decisions and have paid for them. I was incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's part of us in the 5% Nation. You know, it's good and bad choices that we make as men, man. And I made the same choices as regular dudes on the street. That's why I think a lot of dudes was able to identify with us, man, because we was just regular dudes with regular struggles.